Hello and welcome to coverage of the TCGplayer MaxPoint Championship here in Indianapolis. I'm Marshall Sutcliffe in the booth with Frank Lepore.
Welcome.
And we are underway in round 4. Melissa Detora versus Anthony Miller. Mardu Midrange in the hands of Melissa. She starts things off with a Nomad Outpost. A good start for her. Anthony Miller has got, it looks like,
Temple of Abandon and a Rugged Highlands.
A Rugged Highlands there.
Yeah, like
pumping them up. We're calling those gain lands.
I like it.
Yeah.
Gain land.
Yeah, I
gain
heard
land and pain land.
Yeah, so I'm in for gain lands. That's what I'm going to call them.
It's interesting. The deck that won the Grand Prix, the red-green list, didn't have Rugged Highlands as far as I know.
No.
It just had Temple of Abandons and Wooded Foothills.
Right. Hopefully we'll be able to get deck lists here in the booth, and then we can take a look at the list and see how, because there's sometimes people will have their own idea and they'll build their own deck that happens to be the same, archetype.
Archetype, yeah.
But also you'll see people just be like, well, that won the GP, I'll play that, and they just they just run it.
That Goblin Rabble Master is not long for this world.
No.
Yeah, so Melissa could not have played that lightning strike faster, actually.
No.
Which is great because she did it on the end of his turn, so she gets to untap and she has a
well, she actually did it before combat, so that there was no token made. Yeah.
Not EOT. But
here we go.
At the most irrelevant point.
There's a card. If you watch Magic over the last year or so, you'll be pretty familiar with Courser of Crufix and what it can do. Already revealing a land, putting it into play, and now revealing another one as well.
Go ahead. I can only wonder if she has the Crackling Doom in hand for it. I see one on the bottom, but
she is cracking her Bloodstained Mire right here.
And in this standard format, there's no reason to crack it end of turn anymore. Like you can crack it during your upkeep. You can in formats like Modern, like you would want to crack it during the end of turn so that your land comes into play. You can untap your land when you have a shock land.
Right.
But in Standard, there's no reason to do that. You can actually just wait, take your time. So
you anticipate she's going to play a spell right now?
I have a feeling she is.
All right, let's see what she's got.
And it looks like it is Crackling Doom.
Crunch, Crackle, and Doom. Down it goes.
Yep.
Courser of Crufix.
She got the info of the Rugged Highlands as well.
She did. That's going to knock Anthony back down to 19. And let's see if Melissa has a threat for this turn. I see that she's got a Butcher of the Horde in her hand. It's not doing a ton right now, but it's certainly a big threat.
That's a guy he has to deal with. I mean, we did see Sarkhan and
I think Sarkhan's going to take that down right now.
Yeah, that's actually a very good answer for a Butcher of the Horde.
Yeah, this is I think the reason why you're seeing Sarkhan see so much play. Oh,
interesting.
Cancel that order.
That's
all right. Well,
she can just attack Sarkhan here. And
just kill Sarkhan.
That's a very interesting play by Anthony. That was a very aggressive play.
I've never seen something so aggressive in my whole life.
You could literally just kill the Butcher and still have a Sarkhan with one.
Yeah, that was the play. He should have definitely minused Sarkhan there, I think.
Yeah, now Melissa just gets to eat it. That was a Lava Axe basically that dealt 4 instead of 5.
Right.
I'm intrigued by that play.
You are not intrigued.
You don't know what I am, good sir. You have no idea.
I mean, I feel a certain way about that play, but it's not intrigued. So let's see what Melissa has. She's got Hordling Outburst.
That's a good one.
And she's going to put the pedal to the metal here. Yeah, I mean, now she got to attack with the Butcher
Anthony doesn't have sweepers, so I don't think he's going to run Anger Main.
Play Rugged Life.
Maybe he's got another Sarkhan, and that's why he's just.
I still don't
care about it.
YOLO. You just YOLO it when you have.
Yes, it just feels like it's going to be really difficult.
He does have another Sarkhan.
He does, but he doesn't use it here. He wants to protect his Sarkhan, so he's going to use Crater's Claws to kill the Butcher. I feel like it's going to leave Melissa with 3/1/1 goblins.
And I was thinking maybe he was playing around something like, he doesn't want to put his Sarkhan to 1 because then if she has a Rabble Master, but she doesn't. She just. He dies anyway to the Butcher, so that can't be the justification. So
right.
Oh, that's
wow.
And this is what we were talking about.
Pedal to the metal, indeed.
Like, see, we were discussing this earlier about how Wingmate Rock isn't a win more card because in Melissa's position she had 3/1/1s. She's not necessarily super ahead.
Now, what do you mean? What do you mean win more card?
Well, like Wingmate Rock, you got to
explain yourself here.
Fair. People have discussed that Wingmate Rock is only great when you're ahead because you already have guys to attack with. But in this situation, the guys, quote unquote, guys she had to attack with were only 3/1/1 tokens.
Right.
So she could have just as easily, lost. Like Anthony could play 1/2/2 and just block her team, or it's not an insurmountable advantage by any means. But now the Wingmate Rock, that might actually put the game a little bit out of reach for Anthony right now.
But she just tripled the power she has on the battlefield.
Correct, and she also gains 5 life if she's allowed to attack uncontested.
Right.
So that's
a huge play.
Yeah.
And now Sarkhan looks like not very great here. He's going to take down the original Wingmate Rock, but now
one bird down.
One token is going to be able to kill Sarkon.
And Anthony still takes 5, and then Melissa has an entire turn of whatever she wants. There looks like she has running Sarkon in hand as well.
Sarkon too.
Yeah, this game looks like it's a little out of reach for Anthony right now, but it's Magic. Anything can happen. So we'll see, I guess. I like this. This is a TCGplayer MaxPoint token here. It looks like 10 points. That Melissa
is that what that is? She's just showing off down there?
That's her bird token.
Jeez. Take 10.
The old 10-10 bird token.
Wow, all right.
So Anthony's it looks like Anthony has a Nissa and I want to say a Lightning Strike in hand.
So looks like Melissa is setting up another Hordling Outburst. That way she can play Sarkon next turn and sort of utilize that haste ability to get in for max damage.
I also like her using it as a removal. Like sometimes you'll play Sarkon, you'll attack, and then they can just easily kill it. Like he can Crater's Claws it, or
like it gets attacked by Butcher of the Horde, for example.
Correct. That is also an option. But if she plays it when he has a Storm Breath Dragon out, then she's going to get value out of it.
All right, so here's a Satyr now. This one is going to stay back on defense as it's going to eat a token. Unfortunately, she has once your opponent starts tapping on their cards, it's like you're in trouble. So is what she's thinking about just, am I going to attack Anthony and try to get him dead, or am I going to actually have to use some resources to kill
Well, I think she has Lightning Strike and Sarkon in her hand as far as I know, so I think she was just deciding whether she's going to Lightning Strike at the end of his turn.
I see.
Maybe I can kill him on the swing.
Okay, that's a Murderous Cut, and that's going to kill the Satyr. So get that thing out of the way. So she only has to play black, and here comes Sarkon as well.
Yeah, I think that's game. That's 4, 5,
That's 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's exactly lethal. So he's going to need to find some way to kill something if he doesn't want to die this turn.
I think I did see a Lightning Strike in his hand, which means he can go to 11, or go to 1 rather.
That would have been preferable
to
death.
But maybe I saw it
realistically, he was way too far behind.
Yeah.
No, he had 2 cards in his hand still.
Yeah, one was definitely a Crater's Claw, but I mean, yeah, that game was pretty brutal. It felt like Melissa was one step ahead in those matches.
Because we saw that play early, and that let Melissa leverage every single turn after that.
Yeah, and
right, like she was able to attack and kill Sarkon, and then she went threat. Yeah, like just and he was behind from every stage. And where if he uses his Sarkon to kill the Butcher,
right? I think that was the key turn.
Then she plays something, and now he's got a threat, can attack with Sarkon, and then add another threat and put her on her back heels instead.
Yeah, and that's starting from the Lightning Strike was huge. He goes Ravelmaster, she goes instantly Lightning Strike. Yes. He goes Courser, she goes Crackling Doom. Then she plays a threat, and now it's his turn, and he just didn't respond to the Butcher.
You can take a look at TCGplayer.com.
We have the largest inventory anywhere of buyers and sellers, so you can save big. Check out TCGplayer.com if you're looking for singles, sealed product, or anything else like promos, foils, whatever you're looking for. You can find them at TCGplayer.com. Largest inventory anywhere.
I am looking for all of those things.
I'm an avid Magic collector.
I used to be. And then I started doing coverage, and I realized...
And then you're just like, I don't even get to play Magic.
I get to play Magic Online every day.
Yes.
But I don't get to play tournaments very often, so...
Yeah, I don't really care about foils and things. Like, I just like having enough to play if I want to. I don't like having to search at the last minute for cards for a deck if I need them.
Or go do the bat signal on social media.
It's just like, it's inefficient, and you have to get your cards back. It's just... So I like having play sets of things that I like.
Well, a man in your line of work can probably...
I haven't had trouble procuring cards when needed.
I assume that Melissa's not even sideboarding. She's just looking through her TCGplayer MaxPoint tokens and just counting up how many she's earned over the past year.
She just got a stack. I just throw these tokens.
Making it rain.
And we have Anthony Miller's deck here.
Yeah. So how many? I want to know how many dragons he's running for starters.
4 Storm Breath and 2 Sarkon. So the same 6.
All right. This could be similar. Is he running 1? Hornet Queen?
I do not see Hornet Queen, no.
Okay, so this is a different list.
We have 2 Xenagos, the Reveler, and 1 Nissa. Those are his other Planeswalkers. So 3 other Planeswalkers. And we also have 2 Crater's Claws, not 4. I think the red-green list in LA had 4.
Oh, did it have all 4?
Yeah, it had a full suite, I think. We also have 1 Nylea, God of the Hunt, and 1 Xenagos, God of Revels. So that's interesting. 2 gods. Everything else is pretty standard. We have 3 Pelucranos, 3 Lightning Strike is interesting, because that's one of the premier removal spells in the format. It kills Seeker of the Way, it kills Mantis Rider, it kills Rabble Master.
Yeah, Lightning Strike seems to be one of the most well-positioned removal spells.
Right, it's great. 2 mana, and it's never dead. It can go to the face. Like, it's just... so having 3 in here seems interesting, but, you know, I will assume Anthony Miller has tested his deck. 2 Rattleclaw Mystic as well. And I discussed this in my article this week, because Magic players have this weird tendency to undervalue a card when you don't get to utilize every ability.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're building a red-green deck, let's say, and someone's like, why don't you play Frontier Bivouac in the deck? Well, a common response would be, well, I'm never going to use the blue, so it's not very good in my deck.
Mm-hmm.
But it's literally a red-green dual land that comes into play tapped if you just don't look at the blue.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I mean, you might look at Rattleclaw Mystic and be like, well, he's not playing any blue? But it's literally just a
2-mana elf.
A 2-mana elf that can actually ramp you from 4 to 6 if you morph it. So, I mean, still a great choice. A solid card to come out of Khans of Tarkir. And his mana base is very simple, 12 basics, and then 8 non-basics. He has 4 Wooded Foothills, 4 Temple of Abandon, and 4 Rugged Highlands. So, as far as the sideboard, we have a lot of 1-ofs. 1 Court of Calling, 1 Hornet Queen, 1 Harness by Force, 1 Feed the Clan, which is just some life gain against the red decks, I imagine.
Yeah.
1 Arc Lightning, 1 Anger of the Gods, 2 Citizen Tactics, 2 Mistcutter Hydra, 2 Genesis Hydra, 2 Arbor Colossus, and 1 Reclamation Sage.
It looks like one of those ones where he just kind of was like...
have a little bit of everything.
Little everything.
So I can't actually imagine what he brings in here. Maybe... Like, none of these cards are fantastic against Melissa's deck. Maybe Arbor Colossus just to kill a Butcher or a Wingmate Rock. I could see that coming in. Hornet Queen? Nah, I don't even see Hornet Queen coming in, actually. It's just too big.
All right, so let's gear up for Game 2 here. Melissa Detora taking Game 1 from Anthony Miller. Both players on 3-0. See if Anthony can mount a bit of a comeback here in Game 2.
I'll keep this, sorry.
No problem. Yeah, I'll keep 2.
All right, good to go then?
Yep.
And a Mystic.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Scry.
You got it.
Bottom, go.
Mountain. Rabble Master.
Yep.
Go to combat, make a goblin.
Yep.
And attack with the goblin.
19.
Go ahead.
So an aggressive start from Anthony. I mean, the turn 2 Goblin Rabble Master is always a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, this looks like a really nice start for Anthony, especially because Melissa hasn't answered it yet. She does have Lightning Strike in hand and Lightning Strike mana up, so Rabble Master looks like it's going to bite the dust here, though. She's actually considering maybe taking out the elf. No, she's letting it all happen.
Yep. 13.
So maybe I missaw. Maybe she doesn't have a Lightning Strike in hand.
Mountain.
Oh, maybe. Does she bring in,
Yep.
what's it called?
Go ahead.
Anger of the Gods.
Yeah, does she have that out of the board?
She definitely has it in the... I think she's going to Anger here.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, so
Anger
she
of
said,
the
I'm
Gods.
not going to waste a Lightning Strike on a guy.
Yeah, she might not have one in her hand, too. I thought I saw one, but it definitely could be that she doesn't. So
she does take 5 from the Pelucranos.
Yes.
Goes down to 8, which is very...
Pelucranos is a big issue for her.
I mean, she has Murderous Cut. She has no black, though, but she does have... well, I'm hoping she does a black land to get back in this, but...
Goblins.
Okay,
That's
Hordlane
actually
Outburst
fine.
is okay. I mean, unfortunately, those things can end up being food for Pelucranos.
Oh, I'm sure, yeah, I'm sure one of them will, but maybe 2. It depends on if Anthony has a
If he's got another mana source here, he can eat 2 of them.
He does have a Wooded Foothills.
So he can eat 2 of them and force, not force, but, you know, encourage a chump block on the next. But I think she's got End Hostilities.
Yeah, her hand looks very good. I think she even has Utter End in hand.
Ooh, Sarkon's going to be rough, though.
Okay, that's...
Go to combat.
Now now the question is just
Take 4.
if she can deploy her answers as quickly as Anthony can deploy his threats, because this draw has been really ferocious.
Yeah, I agree.
She takes... Oh, she chump blocked there. So is she actually at 4 now?
Yeah, that might be the game for... Like, because if she kills Sarkon, Anthony just kills the 2 tokens and attacks. and she has no way to kill both the creature and the planeswalker this turn.
Right. Okay, she can play Butcher of the Horde, though, and get lifelink. And haste if she wanted to attack, but I think she can also... Oh, she is... Yeah, lifelink and haste, it looks like.
Oh, so she goes to 9.
She goes back
and
up to 9 and kills Sarkhan.
Oh, she kills Sarkhan.
Here.
That's
right.
actually fantastic.
Right, so she goes to 9 and leaves her in a pretty good position here. Though not ideal for Melissa, as she really wanted to leverage that end hostilities, but she's perfectly happy to be in this spot, especially because she didn't hit the mana needed.
And if Anthony plays another non-planeswalker threat, I think she's fine just end hostility.
9.
Yes.
Monstrous Cluthnos for 1.
Yeah.
Monstrous for 1.
Attack for
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm at 3.
Attack for 6.
Oh, maybe she's got a lightning strike.
Yeah,
Yep, there we go.
Just needed to deal that 6 point.
Yep. So there we go. Anthony Miller equals things up in impressive fashion there. He really put a stomping down that game. We're going to get a game 3 here.
Once you put the turn 2 Rabble Master out, like it's real hard to deal with.
Unanswered. I mean, it did eventually get answered.
Right, but you're behind. Like you're starting on the back foot at that point. So you have some catching up to do, unfortunately. And yeah, you know, if we were just mentioning the TCGplayer Invitational, which is June 6th, 2015, so right in the middle of the year, and all of these events will qualify you for that Invitational. The Modern State Championship, Player Appreciation Weekend, so make sure you get out there. There are infinite ways to play and to win, so mark your calendars for 2015 and head out and play some Magic.
Wow, you guys plan way ahead.
That's what?
The Standard State Championships, that's like 51 weeks
a year
from
away.
now. Yeah,
it's literally 1 year minus 1 week away.
That's cool. I've never understood how that works.
What's that?
So states stopped becoming a thing.
Correct.
And now, like, is TCGplayer doing that? Like, did they just call it that? Like, how does that actually
I mean,
work?
like, it's literally just, you know, third-party sites just creating a tournament series and calling it states.
Okay, just trying to fill that void.
Just trying to fill that void, because states was always a more casual event. Like, you go to states, you take you and your friends, you make a trip to states, you play your fun deck. It's not like as cutthroat as, say, like a PTQ or, you know, a Grand Prix or whatever. So it's just a fun tournament to go out there and have fun. The prizes aren't like a Pro Tour invite or, you know, thousands of dollars. You're just having fun. So, you know, there was a gap in the you know, event structures. So, you know, we just tried to fill that with a state tournament. And then it gives you the fun bragging rights of being like, yeah, I'm the standard state champion. So, you know, it's a cool feeling. So that's basically the gap we're trying to fill.
I like it.
And like no one's ever complained about having too many events to go to, you know, which is, you know, no one's ever said, man, I wish there weren't as many Magic events going on. Right. So at least I know I never have.
Taking signs for that.
Poor college student.
I mean, I'm sure somebody has.
I bet someone has. Like, that is still a thing. Someone's
These
probably.
planeswalkers are way too cool.
Elspeth, man, that's too sweet. Make it less sweet, Magic.
Speaking of Elspeth, Melissa also had Elspeth in her hand.
She has one Elspeth.
She's clearly pivoted over to a more controlling role.
Yes,
here.
that is correct.
But unfortunately for her, she didn't have quite the right answers at the right time there.
Yeah, and I think also the timing was off. Like, she was 1 turn behind because of that Elvish Mystic.
Yes.
So, you know, when you're answering the threats that are dealing 4 damage 1 turn too late, that adds up. You know, that's an extra 4 damage, an extra 5 damage, so.
One thing, if our players have keeps here.
One thing I have, I've heard murmured, was that this seems like a very aggressive format in the sense that, like, whoever plays first has a slight advantage. And I say slight loosely.
You mean they have a big advantage?
Correct.
I don't. Yeah, but I don't. It's pretty standard to have a slight advantage.
I don't want to imply that like it's format defining, but you know, it's something to look out for. I think.
Okay. I'll look out for it.
Look out for it. Keep your eyes peeled.
So there's a Crackling Doom in hand for Melissa.
Right.
She's not going to have mana for that this turn, though. She's thinking about scrying with this Temple of Triumph. Looks like it's getting chipped down to the bottom.
A Chain to the Rocks as well, which I feel like could be worth just putting on this Rattleclaw Mystic. She has actually 2 Crackling Dooms, it looks like. And I feel like you just get rid of this guy because you're not going to have a chance to play that.
Go ahead.
Interesting.
Plus, you don't want the Pelucranos to come out next turn.
Yeah, but if it does, you just Crackling Doom it.
I guess that's true.
You know, it feels like, I think the decision there is, do I use my premium removal on a mana creature, or do I let the mana creature live forever and just use my removal on whatever it produces?
To be fair, a lot of the removal in her deck, I feel like it's all premium removal. Like, Murderous Cut kills anything. Crackling Doom is going to kill the biggest creatures.
Yeah, I think the reason why I put Chain of the Rocks ahead is because it's so cheap.
One mana.
It allows you to
It's
do multiple
huge.
things in one turn,
Correct.
which she did there. I mean, she did play a scry land, get to scry, and still make a reasonable play for the
But
turn.
if she wants to play Crackling Doom, she has only one Temple of Triumph and one Nomad Outpost. So she would play. She would have to tap the Nomad for the white,
Yeah.
and then she wouldn't have a black source, or she'd have
Yes.
to tap Temple for white.
And it could definitely get awkward down the line.
Right.
All right, well, Polukranos does hit the battlefield, but only for about half of a second as Melissa snaps that off with
And
Crackling Doom.
Lightning Bolt damages Anthony for 2 damage.
That can be good.
I'll play the
More of a shock if you want to get technical.
Fair.
go.
I don't really want to get technical. Anyway, there's
Well,
a
you
Butcher
did,
of the Horde. I had
buddy.
to. I got to keep you in check, Frank.
That's fair. That's fair. Someone has to.
So Butcher of the Horde kind of hanging out by himself, not happy about it. You know, he'd rather have a
He likes bros. He's definitely a demon
crunchy
that likes
goblin
bros.
snack to give him the energy to battle.
And
but
it's funny. I like the art on this guy because he's like holding a bone, and you're like, well, that's
just finished.
a tool, I guess. I guess you
Yeah.
can just beat someone with that, but why a bone? And yeah, I caught a glimpse of Anthony's hand, and it looks like he has a lightning strike, and I don't think he has a way to deal with this Butcher of the Horde.
If he doesn't have any way to deal
Oh,
with
an
it, that's
Arbor
going to be a big
Colossus.
issue.
So
All
that's
right,
what
well,
I mentioned in bringing in.
Arbor Colossus is an interesting one. That
But
deals with Butcher of the Horde quite nicely.
The second Crackling Doom in Melissa's hand deals with Arbor Colossus quite nicely as well.
Indeed.
And she wastes no time with using it.
Crackling Doom here.
Take 2, take
Kaboom.
5 more. Crackling Doom is just... I'm consistently impressed with that card.
I am too.
It's like most
It's got
sacrifice
nothing but up
effects.
for me.
As
yeah.
soon as they play a token creature, you're like, well, this is useless now. But Crackling Doom, it's rarely dead because it's always going to take out their largest threat.
Yep.
Which is just a stipulation on a sacrifice effect that's just huge.
Yeah, I mean, every sacrifice effect printed before says sacrifice your worst creature. This one almost says sacrifice
That's
your best creature.
It,
yeah.
it virtually
It's
says
not
that.
quite that, but
He will
it's
never,
close.
Anthony will almost never have to sacrifice that Sylvan Caryatid to a Crackling Doom.
Unless Melissa wants him to.
Correct.
That's the cool part about it.
Which is great.
Yeah.
Which it makes a sacrifice effect. I mean, they were usually playable anyway, but it just makes it like almost an auto-include in a Mardu deck.
So what's the deal here? Is Anthony just out of gas? Like, this is his turn?
I think so. But that's Melissa and I were talking about that. We were testing the Teamer deck, and she said, I don't want to play a deck that has like Elvish Mystics and Mana Accelerants because they're terrible top decks in the late game. And I've agreed. That's why I usually steer clear from those decks. But in this situation, it feels like Anthony is experiencing that, where you're just drawing, oh, turn 7, I drew a Sylvan Caryatid, you drew a Hordling Outburst, and they give you less dead draws. But the openings for decks like Anthony's are more explosive. But typically, once the Mardu deck, survives until the mid game, it can take over a lot easier. It feels like.
I think she put another Crackling Doom on top of her library with the end step Magma Jet there.
You only need 2, I guess.
Yeah, and that's
these are
half of his
4.
life total. And ooh, right on time to hammer your point home, Frank. He draws an Elvish Mystic.
An Elvish Mystic, yeah,
just a miserable draw.
He has a Harness by Force in hand, so he can steal that Butcher for a turn. But he could actually steal Butcher, sacrifice the Sylvan Caryatid, and gain 5 if he wanted to.
Can the Butcher sacrifice itself?
No, it says another creature.
Bummer.
Which is interesting. A lot of the sacrifice effects are saying that nowadays. And I think he's going to do it just to gain 5 because he has to.
He can also give his Elvish Mystic haste here.
Oh, he can target his own Elvish
I
Mystic.
think so, right? Or is harness only your opponent's creature?
I don't imagine it's. I imagine it's gain control of target creature.
It feels like we're going
real deep here.
where we actually have to ask that kind of thing, right?
Yeah, I mean it's a relevant 1 point if he has nothing else to do with the mana. Oh wait, hold on. A Crackling Doom occurred.
Right. Obviously.
It got rid of the Mystic.
Sacrifice to give.
Yeah, any number of target creatures.
Oh, yeah, it has to be. Sure. Yep, you're at 7. I'm at
So yeah, he sacrificed the Sylvan Caryatid. Should go back up to 7 now, not 9, because he actually took 2 from the Crackling Doom. Now I think he's going to 2, and Melissa just casually reveals Lightning
She
Strike.
just flippantly shows him
And
the
says,
Lightning Strike and says, next.
I have this. I will kill you.
That guy again.
So Anthony Miller with a really great game 2, but isn't able to quite get there game 3, so Melissa Detora is going to be victorious here.
And I think that was a great display of what the Mardu deck does best. It literally plays a huge threat and then just controls the board from then on. It has a lot of amazing answers. As I think that was a great display of what Crackling Doom can do. You play a 5/5 or a 6/6, this card's going to kill it no matter what.
Right.
And you're taking damage. which is sufficient because you're not really losing tempo at that point.
All right, let's jump over to our secondary feature match here, where we've got Adam Juracek, and he's playing against Raymond Perez Jr. Adam's
Junior,
on the
eh?
left.
Do you think Raymond Perez Sr. is also a Magic player?
It's possible.
It is possible.
He could be watching.
The Raymond Perez legacy.
That kind of thing has come up way more often.
Really?
Yeah, we are definitely starting to enter second
because Magic's been around for like 20 years. Yeah,
21 years now.
So guys like Chris Bakula, like his son is just going to start playing Magic.
And just destroying people.
And just like meddling, maging people out of games.
Yeah, and I get that at the GPs. People will come up to say hi, and they'll be, oh, here's my son. He's playing in his fourth GP. He's 16. He's 17. I've been playing for a long time. Yeah, we've even got one sitting right in front of us here.
Alan Hawkman's son, tournament organizer Alan Hawkman.
Will Hawkman, he's playing in the event as well. Will, how old are you? He's 14. He didn't know how old he was at first, but he's 14.
He was about to say 13, and then he was like, wait, 14.
And then we see this stuff now. Second generation gamers, especially of the Magic variety, showing up and starting to do it. I'm not really sure what the players are waiting for here.
Oh, I think
maybe a judge call.
Yeah.
Okay. This board looks pretty interesting. So we have Elspeth on one side on 1 loyalty, and then on the other side a rather threatening looking Herald of Torment plus Sorin Solemn Visitor over there. Kind of, I don't know how much it's really affecting things at the moment.
So let me ask you something. We have a Sorin and an Elspeth. If they got in a battle in, IRL fantasy world, who wins this battle?
Oh, Elspeth, come on, dude.
Yeah?
Yeah, come on.
I mean, she slayed a god, so that's pretty good.
Not remotely close.
But Sorin's such a cool character, though. I like the black and white, like you have the, I'm evil, but I'm trying to do the right thing that I see.
Yeah, well, I like spears that have swords attached to them.
That's fair.
That's how I roll.
How very Greek of you.
So let me get you 5 minutes. Thanks. That feels right. Yeah, we have a time extension already.
I'm trying to listen in here, but I think we may have missed
We
it.
actually started a couple minutes late, so yeah.
Okay.
So you're keeping track of that?
All right, looks like we're back underway here, though. Never quite figured out exactly what the judge call was for, but the players did get a time extension for whatever it was. And it looks like we are back underway. So down goes Elspeth. Apparently in IRL fights, Herald of Torment is enough. And Adam's just going to cash in.
I got my shiny quarter token.
Yeah, I wonder if he's just got another one. And I think that's a 50-cent piece, Frank.
You're right, that is not a quarter.
You got to know the format, buddy.
I think the quarter was actually banned in this format, so we have to go with the 50-cent piece here.
Liliana Vest is going to hit the battlefield and immediately minus to go search up a card to put on top. That's an ability we've seen more and more.
That's a strong ability.
It really is. And we've seen it chain together siege rhinos before.
Oof.
We've seen it find interesting one-of answers.
And you know what? You know what the best part about Liliana, the Vampiric Tutor ability? You don't have to reveal.
No.
It's like
they have no idea.
When you can search for any card in your library, you don't have to reveal it because it's any card.
Right.
If it says creature, you have to reveal it because you have to prove that it's a creature. But with Liliana Vest, you're just like, well, I guess I have no idea what you're getting. Could be an Elspeth, could be a Hero's Downfall. Probably not a Hero's Downfall here, but still, the sky's the limit. Like, that's a very versatile card. And with Raymond Perez Jr. having no pressure against that Liliana, that's just seems like bad news bears, as the kids say.
Oh, it's bad.
Oh, that's a good dude, though.
Well, there's Siege Rhino to help out. That can pressure Liliana Vest. But it looks like Raymond Perez Jr. is hellbent. He has no cards in hand. Let's see if we can get a look at what Adam Juracek actually put on top of his library here. He knows what it is, and it costs 6. It must be Elspeth, right? There it is. It's Elspeth.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So nasty. Yeah, you mentioned it though, but Liliana Vest just so good at finding these chains of threats, especially interesting one-ofs. We've seen Liliana search up Dune Blast.
And like
post sideboard.
If you know what, like it's so great if you know what you need to get. Like, oh, I need to kill your guy. I'll just get a removal spell. Oh, you have no board. I'll get an Elspeth. Like, it's hard to recover from that.
In this case, he actually got an Elspeth to kill your guy.
Right, which was perfect.
Which is kind of perfect.
And Liliana's on 1 right now, so you can't tutor again. So I guess you're just gonna have to be satisfied making Raymond discard his cards if he had a hand.
Well, that's after this. Liliana's now on 1 after he tutored again.
Correct.
So he's going to get to draw two perfect
Vampiric
draw
tutors.
steps in a row. And I think that, I mean, I can't imagine that Raymond Perez, with essentially no board state and top decking, is going to be able to come back from...
You don't think he beats the Elspeth Liliana Vampire Token draw? Oh, Herald of Torment is also in play?
Yeah, I think he's behind on board. I think he's going to be further behind on his draw step, and he's going to need something epic here to get out of this. He finds Hero's Downfall.
Yeah, that's going to take care of 1/4 of Adam's
Yeah,
board.
it's just too late. I mean, I would still use it to take down Elspeth here.
Yeah.
Because, you know, that is going to become
It's
the
'cause
long
it's
game
Elspeth.
plan. Yeah. And then the question is, does Raymond Perez, did he bring in, like, end hostilities? You
And
know,
Elspeth
something
was
along
already a
those
2-for-1
lines.
because it killed the Rhino. So
Oh, yeah.
The other thing is, I love this this pick that Adam's using. It's basically saying, hey, I know what's on top of my deck. Don't scry. Don't crack a fetch.
And what do we have here? Maybe a Rhino? Seems to be one of the best threats left for Adam. Maybe also a Sorin or something?
Oh, that's a good one. too.
Nissa, also a very
Oh,
good
man.
threat. So it looks like that Caves of Koilos is going to gain a new zest for life, and
Oh man, Adam's deck looks spicy.
this is a spicer. There's no
And in the
doubt.
graveyard he has the Sorin and the Elspeth, so he's literally playing 4 different Planeswalkers here.
Yeah, I see that there's a Rakshasa Death Dealer, an Utter, and a Siege Rhino as well, just to get a feel for it. Now, we will take note here, Raymond Perez Jr. is up a game in this match. So this is
Interesting. This is
Adam
Adam's
looking,
comeback.
yeah, he's looking to stabilize here, or to equalize, excuse me.
I would consider equalizing, stabilizing.
Agree.
I feel very stable when we're equal. Oh man, Nissa's just so good.
Oh man, I think that was his own Liliana?
That's not going to do it on
That
this
is
board.
just far too slow. I guess you plus it anyway, but
for YOLO.
for information.
Let me see what you
but
have.
He also maybe didn't want to let him know what he had.
Yeah, if Adam hasn't seen the Liliana yet, then he might not know. These guys are at the far end of the table. And we were just told by Rashad that Raymond Perez Jr.'s Twitter handle is Future Pro, so working his way there now.
I think he needs to update that to Current Pro because he's had a lot of success over the last year.
So yeah, at that point, do you just change it? Do you just get a new Twitter handle?
Pro.
Can you change your? I remember you
Yes,
could a
your
while
name?
back.
You can change it anytime you want,
Man, that is beautiful.
as long as it's not
I've actually,
taken.
yeah, I've felt the annoyance sometimes when I'm like, who is this? I don't remember following this. Oh, they changed their name.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you've seen that people like to do that for Halloween.
Yes, I have noticed that
that's
this
a big
week very
meme
strongly.
thing. Yeah. So
Could you change? What happens if you
Whatever.
change it and then you can't, like, you go to change it back and it's gone?
I have no idea.
That seems funny. Like, you should be able to reserve it for like a week and a half for promotional reasons. And if you the MaxPoint events we were discussing earlier, if you attend any MaxPoint event, diamonds, platinums, golds, any event at a local store or any of the larger ones, you can get Conley Woods and Mike Flores tokens, which are the current tokens that we're giving out now. No Frank Laporte tokens, unfortunately, but these are actually awesome. Nolan Nasser is the guy who does our tokens regularly, and I think he did an awesome job on
He
these
did a really
too.
good job on these.
And the
likeness is incredible.
I love the Mike Flores because it has Mike's arrogance in that one, I think. And on the Conley one, it says Rip Land Death 1993 to 2008, 15 years of Mana Screw, which is a nice touch because Conley's crack fetch take 2 joke.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, so I think he did a great job. So if you guys are looking for tokens, you can head out to any MaxPoint event and pick some up. So these guys are thinking of sideboarding. We do have deck lists for these guys. Let's take a look at Adam's deck list. Looks like it is aggro. He has 4 Fleecemane, 4 Rakshasa Death Dealer, and 2 Heir of the Wilds. He also has the 3 Anafens of the Foremost. So very similar to the Mike Segrist list that was that he top 8 at the Pro Tour with. Only 2 Herald of Torment though. Mike's deck had 4 Herald. It also has 2 Bile Blight main. I'm not sure if Mike's had Bile Blight, but that could be the difference. It also has 3 Wingmate Rocks and 3 Sorens. Like I said, Wingmate Rock, I think that's one of the stronger cards in the format right now.
Raymond Perez's list is kind of interesting. It's got 2 Elvish Mystic, 4 Caryatid, but he's running a Dune Blast in the main deck.
Interesting. That
And
card
then
could be
an
good.
Utter End. Yeah, and then the kind of, 3 different planeswalkers, one of a Johnny Mentor of Heroes, but he's also got Soren and Elspeth together. Thoughtseize, Abzan Charm, Heroes Downfall.
See, Doomblast is interesting. It seems like a card that's like, it kills everything, but it feels like it could have actually been worded, destroy all creatures except for target creature. So if your opponent has one creature and that's the only creature on the board, they could have worded it in such a way where they have to keep it, you know, just to kind of like balance it out. But it actually says up to 1 creature. So if you have nothing, it's just a sweeper. Which makes it pretty strong. It could be a haymaker in Raymond Perez's deck, actually, because Adam plays a bunch of guys. If he hasn't monstrous the Fleeceman line, if he doesn't have regeneration mana up, he just kill all your guys.
It says up to 1 creature? I thought it said, like, destroy all creatures except 1, or no, it says choose 1 creature, destroy the rest, right? So I think you do actually have to keep 1 under that circumstance, right?
Let me look it up.
Oh, choose up to 1? No way.
Yeah, see, that's what I mean. It doesn't seem...
That would be lame.
Yeah, choose up to 1 creature, destroy the rest.
So 0 can be...
Yep, that is up to 1.
Lame.
Lame.
I like Highlander in it, man. Like,
because, like, yeah,
gotta be 1.
Exactly, like, choose 1, and it's like, if they have the only guy, if they have Pelucranos and you have nothing, then you're like, well, this is dead. This is literal dead. Now you have 1 Siege Rhino. Rashad Miller's making the argument, if they have 2 Siege Rhinos and you Doom Blast, they still have 1 Siege Rhino, which isn't the best value for 7 mana.
that is not a great deal.
So, yeah, I feel like
that is not a great deal.
Yeah, I feel like the subtle line of up to 1 was, I mean, super relevant. Like, it just changes the entire card. But you can see how such a subtle
sweet,
change.
by the way.
Yeah, it's a great card. Destroys everything. Like, you get to keep a guy. You know, that was the biggest thing of Wrath. Like, you play a Wrath, and they get the first opportunity to play a creature afterwards. With Dune Blast, you play a Wrath, and you still have the first creature afterwards.
Totally.
So great. In the main deck that's very interesting. Usually there was one in the sideboard of Ari's Ari Lax's Pro Tour winning deck list.
He somewhat famously also had a Mass Calcify in that
yes,
sideboard.
that's very interesting, and I still don't understand
which
that.
he boarded in on accident once. Oh, is that right,
It
Rashad?
seems very strange.
Rashad said that he only boarded in 1 time the whole tournament, and apparently it was on accident. Oops.
I can only imagine that after that event, he might have changed that for something else.
That was pretty funny. He had a good sense of humor about it when he did it.
I mean, he still won the Pro Tour, right? So
yeah, it threw us a curveball. I think I was in the booth with Zach when that came up, and it was revealed on top of his library with the Corsair.
Oh, and he's like, well, that's awkward.
Yeah, but we didn't, you know, like, I'm not going to second guess somebody about
that could be his
sideboards,
plan.
but we looked it up, and it was like, I think the only card that it killed from his opponent's deck was Goblin Rabblemaster. It was playing
Nice.
Chess Guy.
It doesn't even kill Mantis Rider. in
No,
that
it
situation.
doesn't. It does,
Oh,
sure
that's
doesn't.
funny.
It doesn't kill Seeker of
What
the
color?
Way.
Oh, that's red. Oh, all your guys are red.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
So yeah,
So we were puzzled, but again, we didn't want to, you know.
And when you look at it like that, Ari won the Pro Tour with a 14-card sideboard, essentially.
Maybe. I mean, he must have had some reason for it.
That's true. He must have had some reason. But if he didn't bring it in,
well, I mean, you know, I'm saying he must have had some reason to put it in,
Right,
in
exactly.
the list. Maybe it just never made it in. But all right, looks like Ray's going to take a mulligan here,
going to Paris.
and Adam is not.
Adam
he's happy.
Satisfied with these 7, which is scary. It's like this Abzan aggro deck is a very scary deck. If you go turn 2 Fleeceman Lion, turn 3 Anafenza, very hard to deal with, because Wizards has made a point of like not having a lot of 2-mana removal in this format. There's no Doomblade. There's Lightning Strike and Bile-Blight.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and if you're not playing red, you don't have Lightning Strike. Raymond Perez, does he have Bile-Blights?
No.
So, like, the cheapest removal Raymond Perez has is a 3-mana Hero's Downfall.
Yeah, Abzan Charm and Hero's Downfall are his 2 main removal. He's got 4 of each of those.
Yeah, those both cost 3. And Abzan Charm is, what is that, exile target creature 3 or 4?
Power 3, 3 or greater.
So
yeah.
it can hit a Fleeceman line. It can't hit a Rakshasa the Death Dealer. That's a difficult name to
It
say.
can only if they pump it.
If they pump it, yeah. If Adam Putrid leeches it.
All right, we have a keep here from Raymond.
Oh, I feel like Llanowar Waste is not the land you want to start out on. Not to say he had better choices, but I feel like that's... I would rather have like a Scryland or something that doesn't deal me damage to start out.
All right.
Whereas Adam doesn't really care.
Windswept Heath is the follow-up play here. No play from either player.
I like this. They both have the same exact
They
lands
do,
in play,
but the old ones.
but they both have the opposite versions.
That is super funny.
That's
Adam
Reprints,
Yurchik, a longtime player, and you can tell he dug deep into his collection for these.
Where's my Apocalypse and my Onslaught cards?
Yeah, that's funny. Is
They
there
both
a
look
third
good,
land
though.
drop in the future here for Raymond? Yeah, there is. There's a few,
Yeah, there's
actually.
a Mana Confluence.
Yeah, there's
and
also another
Landlord
waste. Yeah, so that's not the problem. The question is, what does he want to play with them? It looks like he's got a Courser of Crufix.
Yeah, I mean,
Seems like a pretty reasonable one here.
unfortunately, he doesn't get a land here.
No.
So he's not going to gain any life. Adam could just kill it if he has a removal spell next turn.
And he just doesn't get anything.
And then Raymond's actually taken 3 off of just cast. Oh, he doesn't get a white here. That's interesting. Oh, he has Mana Confluence, so that's fine. But yeah, he's trying to minimize the damage he's taking, obviously.
Right, this way he can just take 1 damage to cast it.
2 Land Waste and a Mana Confluence seems not great, not ideal when Adam's playing a more aggressive deck.
That said, Adam Yurchik is not off to a quick start here. He's on the draw and has done nothing for the first few turns.
Well, Adam might actually board into a more controlling deck after sideboard.
Oh, yeah?
I mean, we did see the Nissa, we saw the Liliana and the Elspeth in game 2. So Adam might just say, I'm going to take out all these creatures that you're just going to sweep away with Doom Blasts or, you know, whatever. And, you know, I'll just, you know, play a more controlling deck. I'll meet you on the battlefield of Midrange, sir. Alright, so we're cracking here. We have a play here. Could be a Fleecemane Lion.
Which he could have played last turn if he had had it.
No, it's got to be a Death Dealer?
She also could have played last turn had he had it.
Yeah, so or an Heir of the Wild?
Maybe he just drew it. Maybe he's got removal? No, there's no removal for that.
Yeah, no, there's no 1 green, 1... Yes, Death Dealer. All right.
Start dealing some death. Card's been really impressive.
I feel like when your name is Death Dealer, if you attack once and you connect, you should win, right?
I agree.
You dealt death.
Wow, there's another Courser of Crufix. So here's a nice way for Raymond Perez Jr. to sort of get back from being on a mulligan here and try to get ahead. He's going to start by battling with this. I think he has a Siege Rhino this turn, plus he's going to gain a life and then get to play another Courser down the line here, and it's all going to add up pretty quickly.
I would just shortcut there and not even write down the 1 life
I
from
also
Courser.
would do that. But there it is, Siege Rhino. So Siege Rhino is going to do potentially a job blocking the Death Dealer unless Adam finds another land. There's a Hero's
None
Downfall.
needed, good sir.
Down with the Rhinoceros.
And the damage, and that's why Siege Rhino is such a good card. The damage is done. Like, there was a Lightning Helix for free.
Yep.
From Raymond Perez, so.
Right to the dome piece. Wow.
The old dome piece.
Yeah. There's
That's a good one, too.
There's Sorin sitting on top. So while there hasn't been a steady stream of extra lands coming off the top, Raymond also has not missed a land drop and is not going to miss one this turn. He still has that Llanowar Waste in hand.
The life gain is prominent as well.
Yeah, man.
Sorin, Siege Rhino, and double Courser is like...
He's also just winning the race right now. Like,
Adam's at 10.
Adam falls down to 10 and Raymond's at 18. Sure, the Death Dealer can take big chunks of life, but it takes essentially all of Adam's mana for the turn, so that's not really on the horizon for him. It looks like he's just going to follow up with another Courser of Crufix here.
And like one of the best cards Raymond could actually draw well, not right now, but in general, like with this mana base, is just Urborg. You know, because it gives you an alternative to use Mana Confluence. It also turns your Llanowar Wastes into just easy way to tap for black.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and when your mana base is so painful, like you have Caves of Coilhouse, Llanowar Waste.
Oh, he's going to play Temple of Malady. That's what it was.
And she's like, no scry.
He's going to leave it. He was actually considering not playing it.
Oh, just to save the scry.
Yeah, I think he was trying to keep that in his pocket, but he figures he might need all the mana.
I mean, I feel like your position is very good right now, and you don't actually need anything.
Yeah.
His board's looking pretty solid against Adam right now. But Courser's not the most threatening of creatures. A Courser, 2 Coursers with a Sorin, those are 3/4s with lifelink.
Yeah. Yeah, the Elf can even get in there if the way gets
clear. That's a 2/1, yeah.
Yeah.
If Adam taps out for something, Rakshasa Death Dealer is just a 2/2.
Right.
Rakshasa.
Rakshasa.
Shasa.
Yes.
Okay, so 1 H. All right, I got you.
Total H count 1.
Got it. But they're both cats, Raksha and Rakshasa. Both cats.
I have no idea what you're talking about. I also don't care.
From Mirrodin, right? Yeah. Like golden cub, something like that. I don't know. Old school. Come on, it's old school. Look at this unglued forest too. Fancy basics from Adam.
I don't like those ones.
Really?
No.
I don't either.
Not an
but
unglued fan.
It's like a it's like a. I don't like. It's not my favorite piece of art, but I respect it.
You respect it. All right, fair enough. All right, so Adam Yurchik is going to strip the last card away from Raymond Perez Jr., and it's a Hero's Downfall, but there's another one now looming on top of his deck. We're going to see Soren here.
He's going to avenge his brother. Hero's Downfall. So Raymond Perez has one card, and it's Soren. Adam has a full grip, but of what?
This is game 3. We're winding down the round here. There's mere seconds left.
13 seconds. I imagine this the feature matches are going to have a couple more minutes of an extension because, you know, feature match things. But
poor Raymond. He's got to figure out a way to take the least amount of damage here. 5-minute extension.
So we're looking at about exactly 5 minutes and 4 seconds for. Oh, actually, we're counting up, so probably exactly 5 minutes now.
All right, so Rakshasa Death Dealer doing a very noble job of holding off the attacks. Raymond's going to play the Soren and just make a vampire because he can't actually safely attack into the Death Dealer here without losing one of his creatures.
I'm not sure if that would stop me. Like he would. Okay, so he blocks a Courser. He still takes 5 from the other Courser and the Elvish Mystic.
Yes.
And that would put Adam at 2.
Yes.
And he's virtually dead from this vampire alone on the crackback.
Well, but remember, he wouldn't have the vampire if he.
Oh, if he plussed Soren. True.
Right.
And then next turn he could block the Courser, and yeah, I mean it's risky.
Yeah, but I think I would be inclined to do so as well. Adam Yurchik.
Plus, you know you have Hero's Downfall.
Missed a land drop. I mean, look at this. He's getting desperate. He's going for Abzan Charm just to try to find something here.
Just a pseudo read the bones there.
Yeah. The thing I liked about that line that you were taking earlier, Frank, is just if he does that, and Adam kills one of his creatures, then he can't pump his Death Dealer. So it's like he can do one or the other, but he can't get really blown out in that scenario.
Right, and that's the thing. And Raymond knows he has Hero's Downfall on the top, so on the crackback at the following turn, if Adam tries to pump his Death Dealer again to kill his Courser, in response you can just try to Hero's Downfall it.
Right.
And that means Adam hasn't played anything for his turn as well.
I mean, because then you're pricing him into keeping 4 mana out, basically.
So, like, I mean, I think with Adam's mana restrictions right here, like, I think I would have just gone for it. Yeah, I mean, like, we're definitely going to see a conclusion to this match before time, though.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, because one of the worst case scenarios, and I mean, these players don't know what each other are up to sideboard-wise, but I mean, if Adam Yurchik were to bring in something like a sweeper of some sort, it could get kind of ugly for Raymond.
Well, there's 2 Drown in Sorrow. I don't think.
Yeah, I'm just saying Ray doesn't know.
Yeah, right, exactly. Like, he doesn't know that Adam doesn't have any hostilities or, you know, what have you.
Right. It turns out he doesn't. But
correct.
And I think Raymond could make a relatively safe assumption that he doesn't, but people go kind of deep on their sideboards. Oh,
yeah, definitely. And it's when the format has, like, 5 different Abzan lists that are, like, tuned differently, you know, and every player has a different. Yep, there's hostilities right there.
Fairly dead end hostilities.
Not ideal.
Yurchik's just hiding behind that Death Dealer. When is it going to be time for Raymond Perez Jr. to put the pedal to the metal here?
Oh, he just wins here because he Hero's Downfalls, forces the regeneration,
and Yurchik has to extend the hand. So Raymond Perez Jr. is going to improve to 4-0 here, and it looks like Yurchik's still kind of thinking about things.
It's like, what did I do wrong?